Hi there, Super Dave here. Wouldn't it be great? Just think how it'd feel if you know how to deal with your insurance company on your house, if you've ever had a claim. If you've ever been a homeowner, ever plan on being one, plan on having rental property or have rental property, you've got to watch this video because this is my true story. And I'm going to tell it to you. I just wished I'd done it 5 years ago, so I feel bad about that. But anyway, here's the information, okay? True story. I get the neighbors, next door house of mine. I own my house. Next door house is a rental house. Girls come freaking out. Pipe broke on the hot water heater. I've got 7 feet of water in my freaking basement. It's flooded. I guess the sump pump didn't work. Flooded the sump pump. Brand new 2-year-old central air unit furnace. Totally submerged. There's some couches down there, lawn equipment. It's flooded. There's 7 feet of freaking water. It's 20 degrees outside. Okay? It's Friday night at 6 o'clock. What the hell do you do? So anyway, I call up. I freak out. I get a pump. I start pumping out the water. I call up a plumber. He shows up. He hits his pump going. We get it pumped down. We go here on Saturday. He works in there all day Saturday. We buy a local furnace. We buy a local hot water heater. We had to, thank God I had electric, stove, so we had the oven open and we had fans in there keeping it warm for the 4 college girls. They're freaking out. It's a basement that has mud and brick. I had a brick floor, so that all got jacked up and there's water. It's a complete freaking nightmare, okay? So I get this thing pumped down. The next day, everybody busts their butt Saturday and Sunday. We were able to get a local furnace and central air unit and a hot water heater. Got it all in there. Had it all running Monday morning. Well, I thought we did pretty damn good, right? Well, then Friday, about in a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I don't think it was more than 2 weeks, guess who shows up? My insurance company, by the way, I buy premium policies. Maybe they have, like their state, and then they have farms. Oh, did I say State Farm? Okay. Anyway, so I buy good policies. I have good stuff. Anyway, the claim adjuster shows up, okay? I meet him after work, like at 4 in the afternoon. He's in the yard there. And here, let me explain something. He's actually not a claim adjuster. Well, that's what his card says. But what he actually is, okay, he should just have that on his shirt that says, I am Weasel. Because actually, this is the claim. Here's the claim adjuster. Right here. That's him. He's the Weasel, okay? And what is his job? Well, my friendly neighborhood, small town insurance agent, we don't deal with him at all. Never talked to him once. I have to deal to the corporate office with the corporate people. And what's their job? To screw you out of your money. And let me help you with that. So anyway, here's a Weasel. See, what's his job? To take your freaking money. All right? So anyway, here's this little Weasel. He shows up. I got all the crap piled out in the yard. The old furnace, the old new furnace that had got mud and water ruined, a ruined furnace, and a hot water heater. This stuff's like brand new, but it's ruined, It's all piled in the yard with all the mud and the couches and all the other crap out of this basement, And this little Weasel, he looks down at the hot water heater. He's down in the yard, and, by God, you would have thought a baby had died. He goes, oh my God, you went from a 30-gallon hot water heater to a 40. And he goes over to the furnace. And he's like, oh my God. He goes, look at the furnace, the little nameplate on the furnace. He says, you have it. The old one was at 80% efficiency, and your new one's a 95% efficiency. He goes, oh, we can't pay for that. Upgrade. You have upgraded your equipment. I said it was the only thing available in this small town on a Saturday. It's 20 freaking degrees outside. I said, you know something? I'm 55 years old at the time. I'm 58 now, but I was 55 years old at the time. And I told him, I said, I've been paying thousands of dollars worth of insurance premiums on rental property and homeowners' properties, tens of thousands of dollars. If I added it up, oh my God, 5 or 6 houses since I was 20 years old. And the very first time I've ever had a claim, I told the guy, I know your job is try to screw me out of my money, so get the F off my property. So he leaves. So I go back to work. We're working 7 days a week trying to build a damn power plant, you know. I'm stressed out. It's a Sunday, a Saturday night. I start entering a bunch of emails, and I seen something online, public claim adjuster. I'm like, well, what the hell is a public claim adjuster? And, oh, just a minute. This weasel's really pissing me off. You know, that's just how pissed off I am. This is 5 years afterwards. And I usually don't get worked up. But anyway, so I start looking on, what's a public claim adjuster? Well, this is like if you have a big business and you have an insurance claim and you have a big claim like $300,000, like a insurance company's trying to pay you $500,000 for your apartment building that burnt down or your big business, and you have to hire a public claim adjuster because he's got to take the insurance company on in court, and you know they get you a $3.5 million settlement from your insurance company. Well, I'd sent a bunch of these people emails telling them my situation. I can't believe it. Well, I want to keep this short, so I'm sitting there Sunday afternoon at work. This guy calls me and he says, hey, you know, he goes, I read your email. He goes, I had to feel sorry for you. Really, I really, really do. And I explained everything I just explained to you. I kind of probably told him in the email. I don't quite remember, but he knew the story. He goes, I'm a public claim adjuster. Our company, our minimum claim amount we accept as clients is $3.5 million. So he goes, we can't take you on as a client. But he says, I've got 45 years of experience, and this is what you need to know. He says, the problem is, he goes, I'm kind of bored. He goes, I'm up here at the hotel overlooking the Navy Pier in Chicago. It's raining, so I seen your email. I thought I'd call you up and give you a little bit of an education. He said, I got 40 years experience or more. He goes, I'm an expert on this. He says, the problem is you don't have the playbook. You can't understand the policy if you read it. I said, yeah, I read it. I don't get it. He says, hell. He goes, the claim adjuster, you know, the little weasel, this guy, what the public insurance adjuster told me, well, he's a freelance guy, which he was. He doesn't actually work for the insurance company. He's just on a contract basis. And if your average claim, say your average claim for my problem at my house was $15,000, okay, now the weasel, he gets a certain amount of money for showing up at your house and doing the claim, maybe $300, okay? Who knows? But if your average claim for your particular problem, say, is $15,000, and he settles your claim for $6,000, right? Well, my God, that's a $9,000 difference. And this claim adjuster, this public claim adjuster told me out of that $9,000 that he saved the insurance company by screwing you out of your money, he might get $3,000 of it. So he gets a bonus when he screws you. Isn't that a wonderful system? So now the little claim adjuster, I got a little Van Dyke Brown here, okay? Now he goes from claim adjuster in my book, right? To maybe just a complete piece of shit in my book, okay? Because this job is to screw you. It ain't enough that you paid claims for 30 years, Dave. They're going to screw you out of your money. And this guy, the more he screws you, the more money he gets. So, to make a long story short, I'm probably going to try to do a couple of these videos so I don't forget nothing. This is what he tells me to call. He says, call your agent, your corporate agent now, because I'm not dealing with my nice guy here in the small town. I'm dealing with the corporate people who are obviously in cahoots with this guy to screw me and not pay my claim, or pay just a minimal amount they can, right? So I got a $2,000 deductible. You know, I don't have the money for that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of do, but kind of don't. But anyway, who wants to pay that? And plus, this guy doesn't want to pay for my upgraded furnace, upgraded hot water heater. I'm freaking out. So what this guy tells me to tell him is, when you get him on the phone, this is what you tell the lady. You say, oh yeah, that equipment that we put in, you know, we can't use it according to the claim adjuster because it's a 95% efficient furnace and it's not the right equipment. That's been like 3 weeks now, so keep that in mind. All right. And this hot water heater is a 40 gallon instead of a 30. So that equipment, I talked to my contractor. He said, yeah, he can get the proper equipment ordered. It's going to be about 2 to 3 weeks to get that in. But for now, that furnace that you have in there now is going to be a rental unit, and it's costing you $75 a day. Now do the math on that. And the hot water heater's costing $50 a day. And that rental equipment now has been in there 3 weeks. and that it might take 2 or 3 more weeks, and you're getting the lowest bid to get the proper equipment that was installed, uninstalled, that rental equipment taken out, and you'll get a bid on getting this new proper size equipment installed. You see where I'm going with this? What he told me was, as soon as you start this conversation up with him, that you're going to freak him out. But the first thing I was supposed to say, let me back up just a little bit. When I first get on the phone, by your policy, okay, you're required to do emergency work. That guy told me, just like I did. You got it pumped down. You got the furnace in there. Just did the best you could. You got the furnace from your local people. You got it on. But you're required by your policy to do emergency work. So in other words, that's one way they get you. So like if your furnace goes out or you get a flood, it blows out your furnace, you've got to keep that house heated. You can't let the whole building or the apartment complex freeze all the lines up and cause, another $30,000 worth of damage. That's on the homeowner at that point because you were negligent and didn't do the emergency work you needed to do. So by your policy, you're required to do emergency work. So when I first talked to Lady, that's what I first said. By my policy, I'm required to do emergency work. Then I went into that stuff I just said. And I said, in fact, also, I said, I'm going to get some bids, I figure, from Stanley, those other people that do cleaning and power washing, and I'm concerned about the basement not being dried out properly because it's partially rock, and that I'm going to have heating equipment, I think, installed. That's what they're getting me bids now, and since it's going to overload my electrical panel, they're going to have people come and monitor that every hour on the hour, 24 hours a day for probably a week to make sure that that thing gets dried out. And then we're going to have it treated for mold and all this other stuff. Well, and I asked her, I told her, I said, well, after we take this wrong equipment out, put the right equipment in, and I said, I don't understand. I said that hot water heater's only another $150, and the upgraded furnace was only $700 or $800. I said, this wrong equipment's going to end up costing you guys $3,000 or $4,000, $6,000. I said, my God. I go, how does insurance companies make any money? So I'm playing stupid, see. But I said, how do you make any money? I said, my God, no wonder my premiums are so high. She's like, whoa, time out. Well, at this point, she probably knows I talked to somebody because she's tripping really hard. I mean, there was a dead silence on the phone. You could have heard a pin drop, okay? It was hilarious. As soon as I rattled all that crap off, she says, here, what, maybe, we need to do something different. What's your deductible? I said, it's like $2,000. She goes, she says, well, that hot water heater, that's really not that big a deal. The furnace was, the minimal amount up is about $300, so we'll just say that, $300 that you owe us because you upgraded, and let's just leave that equipment in there, and what we can do is, what's the square footage of your house, and it was pretty messy, wasn't it? I said, yeah, I tracked mud through the kitchen. She goes, well, you had cash labor there for about $1,200, didn't you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah, sounds great. You see where this is going? She goes, and that couch, my $50 couch that was down, she goes, why don't we pay you $300 for that, and your sump pump, and your hot water heat, and your, is there anything else down there? She says, let me see. Make a long story short, instead of me paying a $2,000 deductible plus the $700 in upgrade or whatever that little WEASEL came up with, all right, I ended up paying, I think, $100. I didn't even pay a deductible. I didn't hardly pay nothing for the upgrade. She cut me checks for people cleaning, all kinds of stuff. I paid one of the college girls $100. I got a check for $1,200 for cleanup. It was hilarious. But anyway, just keep that in mind. You're required to do emergency work. And if they try jacking you on that upgrade crap, you tell them it's rental equipment, and it's been in there for 2 weeks now or 3 weeks now at $100 a day or $150 a day, and you're going to get bids on having that wrong equipment removed and the right stuff put in. Anyway, keep that in mind. I'll see if this makes any sense or not. But anyway, I'll make another one if I don't like this video. Have a good day.